Very well.
All right, you wanna officially start us off, or we could just jump right into it.
All right, let's jump in. What's up, y'all? What's up, Daily Walkers? This is Aki Bang, Diddy Turner. What? Okay, let's start over. I'm not even fucking saying that. I'm not saying that. You want me to say that for real?
Big black ass, man.
I just realized what's right there.
What's trying to figure out what's funny, man. What's going on, brother?
What's up, y'all? This is Aki Bang, Diddy Turner, Big Black Africa, and Brandy. And this is the Daily Walk Show. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Hi.
All good, man. Feeling great.
You know what? I was thinking about changing my name too. See, I think
what?
next time we record, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm gonna put something fun up there.
I'm never calling you, hey, yo, Big Black Africa, what's up, kid? Never doing that. You hear me?
So let me ask the panel in the Daily Walkers. Do y'all remember the movie Bamboozled?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Spike Lee joint.
Big Black Africa, if I'm not mistaken, was MC Search, right? Was he MC Search? Oh, he was Most Def. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. MC Search would have been wild. That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. Now it was Most. You know what I'm saying? Big Black Af.
Yeah, MC Search was they was a part of the same crew though, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It's been a minute, man. I gotta
watch it again. I gotta watch. That was a good movie.
Great movie.
That's the one with Damon Wayans, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta watch it again.
You ever seen it?
I'm sure I have. I'm horrible with movies though.
No, you don't like movies?
I fall asleep on them. I just yeah.
So what was the last movie that you watched that you actually stayed and watched the entirety of the movie?
Oh man. I went to the movies with the kids. It was probably Garfield. No, it was Wicked.
That was a good movie, actually.
It was. Yeah.
That was like I was shocked that like I was watching at the crib and I was just locked in. I hate musicals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate musicals, man, but they showed the melanated sister in a good light.
Yeah, they did. It was kind of deep. It was kind of deep.
Okay.
A lot of racism.
I haven't seen it yet.
Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember when the midget monkey committed suicide in the real life Wizard of Oz, the first one?
No. In the movie, in real life,
in the movie.
Okay.
Remember the father, the Yellow Brick Road, because shit. Yeah. As they was walking and stuff like that before the scene ended, I guess it was a midget that wanted to commit suicide. He couldn't take it no more, and he hung himself. And they put a soundtrack like brum, 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 brum. You know what I'm saying when he did it. So, but he actually killed himself on the show, and they let it play.
What
I don't remember that.
Oh, the Wizard of Oz. Have you ever seen the Wizard of Oz, Black man?
Oh, somebody died on set. Yeah.
That no, they actually showed it though.
He hanged himself, right?
He hung himself. Remember that?
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
There was a dude in Seattle, if I'm not mistaken, at a poetry reading. This is in the late 90s, early 2000s, who read a poem about suicide. And at the end of his poem, he slit his throat on stage, and he died there in front of everybody. Dog. That's like the worst thing you could do to an audience.
I mean, you want to talk about somebody as an artist?
Oh yeah, you committed to the damn idea for sure.
Damn,
you took it straight to the end.
He was white.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I get it, bro. You understand me? You know what I mean? All right, well, let's talk. So, if I could just,
I see you got a lot of topics. Well, you know what? Can we talk about this first? I don't.
Go for it, bro. You see it.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not. Oh no, you got it there already. That's all right. I'll wait. I was going to talk about the Puff.
Go for it. Go.
Terrance Howard thing.
Let's go.
So, all right. So I'll go ahead and add it to stage, and we'll start there. All right. Here we go.
And why do you think that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because
losing out money. You got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. You know, who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what Heath had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. This is absolute. But listen, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of the guys on to talk about this stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of this specific reason?
I'm still working. I still, You know, I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe. I've proven what I've set out to do, and that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or not, that's up to them. But I've done the work, and
okay.
That was a lot to take in.
Yeah, I want to say I did see this too. So this is a great clip, and it's a good one. I'm sure we probably all came across it at this point, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I mean, very succinctly, I agree with everything he said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with everything he said. I think, listen, I haven't had an opportunity to have as much financial success as somebody like Terrance Howard. But I've been in enough places to know that sometimes people expect you to compromise yourself, and whatever that is. Compromise can take on a bunch of different meanings for a bunch of different people. But it's easy for people to say, all right, I'm gonna compromise now so that I can make progress, right? But the thing is that sometimes that compromise is something that you can't come back from, you know. So I've recognized that a long time ago, which is the reason why I could never be in the music industry, right? I think speaking from an uninformed place, but speaking from a place that knows how the music industry works, people are expected to compromise a lot in that industry, and sort of put integrity aside for the sake of personal gain. But the thing is that while you might have gain, financial gain, your integrity is compromised, so you don't have anything to go back to, and now people can hold that over your head. So it's important, just like Terrance Howard said, and I agree with him 100%. All we have is our integrity. All we have is our manhood. And all we have is, in the case of our sisters, is our womanhood. And if we stay pure to that and true to that, then you can make, progress and advances the right way. So, yeah.
Somebody else?
I mean, I agree with basically everything he said as well. I think it's in poor taste to pile on a brother when he's down. I think the time to say that, Puffy tried to get my booty was whenever that happened, as opposed to the comfort of the masses. You know what I'm saying? That you just coming in off of that wave. It's like the Cosby effect. You know what I'm saying? If this happened to you, say it when it happens to you. That's how predators get stopped. You know what I'm saying? Predators don't get stopped 10 years down the line after the fact. Like, yeah, me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of after the fact. And that makes me give you a side eye. It's like, yo, this is the thing to say. Puffy's the butt of jokes right now. When Puffy wasn't the butt of the joke, you didn't say anything. So from a man perspective, you know what I'm saying? You a man now, you should have been a man then. But I agree with what he said. I just think that the focus needs to be more so on, the moment. Really I know sexual assault and that sort of thing can be tricky, especially for women, but we're talking about men, right? From the man perspective, you come at me like that, dog, not only are you getting slapped, but I'm telling everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Immediately.
I'm telling everybody why I slapped you immediately, you know what I'm saying? So there's no gray area, you know what I mean? Yes, I did slap him, but this dude came at me improperly, you know what I'm saying? So I don't respect the 6 months, 6 years, 5 years, ago this happened to me, banter. And I also think that our people really need to be careful about these white supremacist platforms that we go on to smear each other. I've never heard Patrick Bet David go on a black platform and smear an Arab or somebody from Iran. We just get too comfortable with that, man. And so while I agree with everything he said, I think that there's a time and a place. I don't think this was the time, and I don't think that was the place. But I agree with what he said.
Is that the name of that host? Z?
Yeah, Patrick Bet David. Yeah, he's a huge right-wing Trump supporter. He's one of those Arabs that's a first generation immigrant, but has no sympathy for people that are here illegally, and you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
he's a
he's one of those.
proponent of people getting, you know what I'm saying, kicked out the country and all of that. He's a Arab and whiteface.
Okay.
What about you, B?
I don't disagree with anything that was said. Yeah, ditto. On that one.
On that one, right, B? On that one.
I think the irony is that he played Lucius Lyons on the TV show Empire, where he threw Juicy Smoulier into the trash can. You know what I'm saying? Because
you did that intentionally.
his name is Juicy Smoulier.
That's what you call it, Juicy.
I remember when I saw that scene, I said, "What the fuck are they showing on TV?"
Yep.
He literally threw this kid in the trash can with his heels like wiggling in the trash. The shit was crazy. For him to say that under being under Lee Daniels, that I'm a guesstimate or guesstimate that he's gay. You know what I'm saying? And you had to make a lot of sacrifices with that particular cat. It was like a father never accepting a gay son. You know what I'm saying? The gangster. It was all the horrible aspects that we has been desensitized to love and enjoy. You know what I mean?
I personally didn't watch Empire.
I stopped it after the first episode.
A couple of episodes of the first season. Yeah, I didn't.
I stopped it after
the first episode
because that was the first episode. I was like, "Yo,
that was some bullshit."
Yeah, if you're going this hard to make us feel bad for this gay character, I know where this show's going, so I'm out.
Well, I couldn't tell you anything about the show at all.
Yes, same.
And apparently one of his co-stars, which was his son, allegedly he got by Puffy. And now he's going through a lot.
Oh yeah, you know? Bashir the actor.
Oh wow,
that's
really?
Not his son, though.
No, he played his son in the show.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the cat that played Mike Bivins in the New Edition.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, allegedly, you know what I'm saying, that happened to him, and he's fucked up. Beebs is fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
That man got OnlyFans at this point. The Bashir Gray Cat, he got an all man OnlyFans. To my knowledge, I don't know, bro. You know, I ain't click on the shit, but this is what I heard.
Damn.
You got an OnlyFans? Are you serious?
Yeah, dead ass, live ass. I don't know.
Live ass. So like,
damn, man. Like, you wonder what happened with these people. Like, the last time I saw him was in the New Edition biopic, which I thought he did a great job as Mike.
Yeah.
And you know, you look at some of these actors. I knew he was in Empire, but like I said, I didn't watch it. But when I saw him in the New Edition thing, I was like, oh yeah, he's a great actor. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him in some other things. But you're saying that all the stuff y'all saying it might make sense why we don't see him in anything else, you know? Because he's on OnlyFans.
It's over for you, baby. Take that. You know what I'm saying? It's over for you. You know what I mean? It's nothing coming for you. You know what I mean? You're done. You put in the Black Spider-Man, you're done. Right? But not like everything that Terrance Howard said, and I'm chiming up for what Z said. Like, you know, why didn't you speak up? What nigga would say, damn, this nigga tried to fuck me in the ass publicly? It's like a woman that got, you know what I'm saying, sexual assault and stuff like that. That trauma and that embarrassment that a woman deals with, even though she should be doing that, well, maybe not the fact that she should be doing it, is the fact that she wasn't educated to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times when we deal with the trauma of certain things, if we don't get the proper tools early before that happens, then we don't know what to do. And then next thing you know it, now you get emotional and you make bad decisions or you make fear decisions and stuff like that. That's why we have to make sure our kids have these different options right in their Rolodex because you already experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Mario Kart or Mario Brothers. Like you die and then you relive. So you relive, that's your kid reliving you. You know what I'm saying? The same shit that you do, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like, yo, like I remember my son wanting to join the Boy Scouts. Nah, son, you can't do that. So why not that? Because the niggas got shorts that's higher than their knees, bro. Like what the fuck? No, we don't do that, kid. If it's that high, the dick's gonna pop out. You can't be around that shit. Look at that nigga. That nigga look strange, don't he? Yeah, he kind of look. Yeah, don't feel. I'm gonna let him go with you. Take you into the woods. To tie knot.
You said to tie a knot, huh?
Tie a knot. I went to the Boy Scouts. Remember when I went to the Boy Scouts?
I was in the Boy Scouts too for a little bit, so I remember.
Yeah, I went to the Boy Scout. Went to Fort something in New York. You know what I'm saying?
You probably went to Fort shit. It'll come to me. Go ahead.
I went there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't fuck with none of them niggas. Everybody was all happy and shit like that. Hey man, what's going on? My name is such and such. I'm like, nah, kid, I ain't fuck with you, man. I
Floyd Bennett, myself. Floyd Bennett Field. Is that where you went? Fort Hamilton then.
Fort Hamilton.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody was all white people just happy to see me. Hey guy, how you doing? What's your name? Nah, fuck that. You got high shorts, bro. You know? Let's go into the woods. Nah, kid, I'm chilling, man. Only thing I came out is when the helicopter landed and shit like that. I'm like, oh wow, there's a helicopter. I went back into my tent. That's it.
That's the only thing you were interested in seeing, huh?
I didn't know what the fuck I was seeing.
Is the helicopter. Huh?
I'm from the projects of Brooklyn, New York. I never seen a deer.
You wasn't into learning how to tie a rope. You wasn't into learning how to start a fire. You wasn't into learning how to set up a campsite. None of that stuff, huh?
Yeah, but the thing about it, no, not one man fuck with me to say pause and just fuck with me say, hey, let's encourage him to go out there and do this shit. They knew I wasn't fucking with them, and they wasn't fucking with me. We had a mutual understanding
the whole time, huh?
That's it. I just chilled in the tent the whole weekend. I was very indifferent. I was very weird. It was weird. So for me to have my son go to the Boy Scouts, and next thing you know, what I mean, or anybody that, because they got a huge sexual assault case lawsuit against them right now for fucking with kids.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? The fuck?
Absolutely.
Is there any like predominantly same-sex institution that doesn't though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
same-sex institution that does what?
That does not have some sort of sexual case against them or accusations of sexual impropriety. Like that just seems to be something that happens anytime you get a bunch of men in particular. I can't necessarily speak for women, but when you get a bunch of men together, I think as a society, we've been so perverted in so many different ways that there's kind of the expectation of that, man. Like, and it's sad because I'm always just speaking from a Black perspective. I don't think for anybody else. I'm doing my best to think for myself, right? Like we as Black men don't really have many institutions that encourage manhood, right? Like I guess you might have like, some fraternities or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? You might have like certain you might have certain churches, right? What's my man Geno Jennings, you know what I'm saying, comes to mind or whatever. You have certain like, I don't know, I rock with I don't know a lot about him, you know what I'm saying? But you have certain places or whatever, but for the most part, as Black men, we don't necessarily have the institutions in place that encourage proper manhood, right? Just like we don't have, just as Black people, we don't necessarily have institutions anymore in place that encourage marriage. But I think that these things are incredibly important when you don't come from a culture that necessarily defines that for you. You know what I mean? That's why we're all like, we're all willy-nilly, and all have different definitions of what manhood is, man. So I think, to the Boy Scouts credit, institutions like that are encouraging quote unquote men to be men, and encouraging men to kind of know how to do things and be able to fix things on their own without calling somebody else, and these different things can be really powerful when people are responsible with that, with that obligation. But I can't think of an all male institution in America that, and maybe Daily Walkers, you know what I'm saying? You can put it in the comments if you all know some, but I can't think of a male institution in America that doesn't have some sort of sexual impropriety allegations against them.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, B? Like, is there any female institutions that, you know what I'm saying, that's out there for women that ain't perverted?
Z, right? Like, it's not a lot of female institutions where you hear things publicized, and I think with females, even when they doing stuff, it be experimental. It be a phase sometimes. I know in Detroit there was a private school for girls that a few of my friends went to, and it was a lot of stuff going on within the school, but not necessarily between the staff and the students, just amongst the students. But you just don't hear about it with females as much. And you hear there's girls on basketball teams and stuff, a lot of girls. And a lot of times it's experimental. I know a lot of women who, hey, through high school and stuff, all they exclusively dealt with females, but then they got married, they got kids. So
that's interesting.
I think that's more of an option for women than men. Like, I think, to Terrance Howard's point, like, once you cross a certain threshold as a man, like, there's no coming back from that.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I certain things just sound weird, you know what I'm saying, being verbalized, but like, if we're like,
no, it's the truth, though, Z. It's the truth. Yeah. And I'm sorry to interject, but I just got to say this quick because it's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be frank, penetration could be the destruction.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, right? Like, that's just what it is, and that's what Terrance Howard was alluding to, because he didn't say that directly, but that's what he talked about being, compromising oneself, and just sacrificing one's manhood. There's just certain things that you do that you just can't come back from, and the brand.
Yeah, that's a strong decision.
Yeah, it's a mega decision, right? And the thing is perhaps at the moment dudes don't think about that, right? Because they only think about it in the case where it is transactional. They only think about what there is to gain, and it's like, you know what, I need to get here. But it's like once you get there, there's no going back here. You know what I'm saying?
You stuck there, brother, for the rest of your life.
That's it. Go ahead.
How can I do this? How can I say this? Where are your mental reasoning skills to know that this is right and this is wrong in the dynamic of Hollywood? You are so, as a child actor, you are so passionate that you would do whatever it take to get this role. Where's the parents that said, like, hold up, son? You know what I mean? Or hold up, baby. We got to, like, renegotiate this contract. Where in the world does Justin Bieber get left alone with a grown-ass man to go to some shit called Puff Pastry Camp or whatever what it's called to do some buck wild shit, and you didn't hear this shit and say, yo, let me get this nigga out of here? You know what I'm saying? The fuck you mean buck wild shit? Usher, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All these child actors that allegedly got touched by this boy, by this man. You know what I'm saying? Where's the parents that said, like, nah, nigga? How does these kids feel like they not? Are they doing it for the pleasure for their parents to make sure that their parents are getting paid? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened, bro? Go ahead, Z. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, my bad. I'm not even trying to cut you off, but bro, to your point, in the case of an Usher, I don't know what his parents' like background is, right? But more than likely, he's made more in a day than they've made in their entire lives, right? So when you're dealing with people that has been flung into systemic poverty strategically, you're gonna have compromise. Bieber is a little bit different because white culture is a little bit different. Like according to Viking culture, you could fuck a man and still be considered masculine. If you fuck a man, if you get fucked, then there's an issue. But if you fuck a man, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers is high fiving, like, yo, son, you did that. Whereas in African culture, and Africa is the most diverse place on the continent, but no place that I'm aware of in African culture plays in that way. Right? As a system, nobody, anytime, you know what I'm saying, like somebody crosses a certain threshold, whether you are the wide receiver or whether you are the quarterback, it's perceived a certain way. in white culture, it's not necessarily the same. And Hollywood is the apex of white culture. So they don't condemn homosexuality at all. Right. And whatever. It's like, oh, they look at that as, you know what I'm saying? That's just natural, healthy sex. So if you're not condemning homosexuality at all, then sexual assault and the power dynamics that happen within Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to see how that sort of thing can happen. So yeah, I feel you, bro. And I think another thing, man, being penetrated is much more intimate than anything that women can do. For women to penetrate each other, y'all need fruit, toys, you know what I'm saying? Like technology. You know what I mean? Like for men to penetrate each other, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like for women to penetrate each other, they need a copy of what men naturally have. Right. So yeah, you can come back from playing with a toy, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not really that intimate. Even though if you were penetrated by a toy, it's different than being penetrated by a person, man. So, you know, we know the Girl Scouts are muff diving like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
I was gonna bring that up, Z. I was gonna ask, has there been anything? Has anybody heard anything about, you know, these type of things happening in the Girl Scouts? Because I haven't heard anything.
Mm-hmm. I know they some really? Hustling motherfuckers, man.
Okay.
They some hustling motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Shit. They got me for $60 2 weeks ago.
God damn. How many cookies you bought?
Man, like shit. 5 packs or some shit like that. You know, it was a black girl, man. I had to support the black girl.
Okay, no, that makes sense. That we should be doing that. What? I'm curious. How much a box of Girl Scout cookies?
Shit, man, $8.
Damn.
Yeah,
remember they was like $5 or something like that.
No,
not anymore, huh?
Damn, was hustling. They told their gimmick was, you know what I'm saying, man, we didn't get no sales all day. I got it. I got to do it now. You know what I'm saying?
They got you for $60, huh?
Man, got me. Nobody. We're the only black Girl Scouts in America. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only one. What? Yeah, the only one. Shit.
We're the only troop.
The black troop. They got me. I'm giving my number. Like, hey, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I got the theater. We can make a whole. You know what I'm saying? Make millions. You know what I mean? I ain't get none of that shit. See,
I do have a theory in regards to some men in homosexuality, or as it relates to their first sexual experience. I've known a couple of young men who have been violated by older adult men, and that was their first sexual experience.
Heard that too.
And as a result, they struggle with their sexuality throughout their life.
Yeah.
So just a theory, you know, and I know some people that's happened to them.
Yeah, that's a very plausible one too, Brandy, because I've heard that too, and I know that there's a lot of evidence that supports being clear on sexual identity as a result of being young boys being sexually violated at an early age by a male member of the family or whoever it was. So yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, that allegedly that happened to Tyler Perry.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got molested by a male and a female, so he just ain't know where to go. So
Donnie McClurkin too.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
Oh wow.
It's like, yo, you on the phone, you in therapy. Go ahead.
I feel like, we don't talk a lot about how a lot of young boys get violated by their babysitters and stuff like that, and it's normalized, and that's not taught. There's tons of males that I know that been violated just as much as females have. We just don't talk about it.
Definitely. Yeah. And that's what I'm sorry. Let me just
one second. That's the thing, and that goes back to full circle with Z saying, like, why didn't Terrance Howard come out and say that shit? Like, you know what I'm saying, when it happened, you know what I mean? Like, when niggas getting violated, you know what I mean? They don't want nobody. There's a lot of kids out here in the hood that has been getting on the way to get down with they gang set is that they had to get fucked by the OG. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
So it's
that's
like
crazy.
So just to have something on them, you got in the hip hop world, they say that, you know what I'm saying, they get these dudes super fucked up, and then they get an OG from prison and stuff like that to rape the shit out of them, and they record the shit. You know what I'm saying? And they say, hey, well, we got this video, you got to sign this contract, or this is coming out. All right, so now I'm forced to sign the contract. You know what I mean? Like, there's different strategies of how they owning people. I mean, they learn it from like the whites. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to back in the days and shit, they learned that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It was taught that. You know. But go ahead, Z. I'm sorry, man. I didn't even cut you
No,
off.
well, I was just going to mention, to what Brandy brought up was Antoine Fisher. Y'all remember that movie?
Yeah, loving that.
So yeah, that is a thing that happens far too often, and yeah, it isn't talked about enough.
Yeah,
What was that movie? Go ahead, Z. Go ahead, B.
I was going to tell a quick story. I had a friend back in the day that went to one of her friends' son's baby or birthday party or whatever. So these young ladies thought it would be okay to have this little boy that's like 10 have one of her friends give him fellatio.
Wow.
Hold on, we want that back. Go say that again. I didn't hear that right.
You heard it right.
No, go ahead, do it again.
They thought that it would be a good idea to have this little boy that's like 10 years old, an adolescent, have one of the friends give him fellatio in front of people at this party.
Boy or girl?
Boy. It was a boy and a grown woman giving him fellatio.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I'm just like, yeah. So it's some sick people out there. It's sick people out there.
Yeah, and we often talk about the confusion that same sex interaction might cause, but we don't really talk about the confusion that a young boy at that age and an older woman, putting herself off on him like that, you know what I mean, or performing that type of act on him. I mean, you're talking about somebody that doesn't understand the implications of it, but then also too, just can't process what's happening. You know what I mean? Unless, because I've heard this as well, unless he comes from a home where it's filled with toxic, or he comes from an environment that is filled with toxic masculinity, and the men that he's around, the adult men that he's around, they'll champion that type of behavior.
Like
right?
Bootsy?
And then, like who?
Like Bootsy?
Who's that? Who you talking about?
Lil Boosie. Like R. Kelly. Like R. Kelly.
Yeah,
R. Kelly.
So they champion that type of behavior, and then not only does that confuse the young kid, it also sort of leads him down this pathway potentially of hypersexualization.
Yeah.
Right. And then what he does is, as he gets older, he sort of projects these thoughts and these ideas on everybody that he comes in contact with, or whatever woman that he comes in contact with, he's just being extra aggressive with, potentially. You know what I mean? So there's all types of implications with those type of acts, and yeah, you're right. We don't talk enough about it.
It'd be like the hardest dude. I knew a guy that was so super hard, man. It seemed like he ate his Captain Crunch hard. You know what I'm saying? In the morning, he just mad. He just opening up the cabinet. Walk through hard as fuck and shit like that. But yeah, he used chapstick on his lips and shit. It just bothered me. I was like, something's wrong about it. I think he got touched. He was too hard. Like he had his raps was hard. I'm like, damn, like you gotta be that damn hard. Damn, you hard. Like I cut your leg off and make you walk home. What the fuck? Like what's wrong, bro?